Scammers steal over $10 billion a year through fraud. But the true cost isn't always financial. For the 1 in 20 adults struggling with depression, a single scam call can cost them their savings, their self-worth, and their will to recover. Today, we're exploring why. Have you ever gotten one of those scam phone calls? Maybe someone pretending to be from your bank, or a fake tech support agent saying your computer has a virus. Most of us hang up quickly. But here's a sobering truth: not everyone does. And researchers have found something shocking. People struggling with depression are far more vulnerable to falling for these scams. So why is that? What makes depression such a powerful weapon in the hands of scammers? In this video, we're going to explore the psychology of scams, mental health, and how scammers exploit emotional vulnerability. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand why this happens, but also how to protect yourself and loved ones from these manipulative tactics. Scammers are not just opportunists, they are professional manipulators. Their entire business model is based on studying human behavior, identifying weaknesses, and exploiting them for profit. And in our modern world, where loneliness, anxiety, and depression are on the rise, scammers have an expanding pool of potential victims. Depression in particular creates the perfect storm of factors: lowered self-esteem, impaired decision-making, social withdrawal, and a deep craving for relief. These aren't just symptoms, they're entry points for a scammer's script. Let's quickly cover how scams typically operate. A scammer's process starts with the hook, where they present an urgent situation, maybe a compromised bank account or a lottery win requiring a release fee. Urgency is key. They don't want you to think. Then comes trustable, where they pretend to be authority figures like IRS agents or bank managers. The manipulation follows, as they exploit emotions like fear and excitement to keep you on the phone until you comply. Finally, it's the payoff, where they get your personal information, money, or access to your devices. Now imagine going through all of this while battling depression. The scammer's job suddenly becomes much easier. One of the most devastating effects of depression is how it impacts cognitive function. It's not just a feeling, it's a physical and chemical change in the brain. Neuroimaging studies have shown that depression can actually alter the function of brain regions, like the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for executive functions like decision-making, problem-solving, and critical thinking. This means a slower processing speed. When a scammer pressures you with urgency, you're less able to pause and think critically. Your brain's ability to process new information is physically slower. You can't sift through the story for inconsistencies as quickly as you normally would. This isn't just about feeling foggy, it's about the chemistry of stress. In a person with depression, the level of the stress hormone, cortisol, is often chronically elevated. This constant state of high alert literally wears down the neural pathways in the prefrontal cortex, the logical, rational part of your brain. Think of your brain's responses like paths in a forest. For a healthy brain, the path to a logical, skeptical response is well-trodden and easy to access. But for a brain under the chronic stress of depression, the panic or fear pathway becomes a deep, muddy trench that's incredibly easy to fall into, while the path to logic becomes overgrown and difficult to find. When a scammer introduces a high-stress scenario, they are intentionally pushing the victim down that well-worn panic path, knowing that the cognitive resources needed to find the path back to rational thought are already depleted. A request for a payment in gift cards, which would immediately trigger alarms for a non-depressed person, might not register as a red flag until it's too late. There's also an impaired problem-solving ability. Scammers throw confusing technical jargon at you, talking about IP addresses, wire transfers, and account protocols. For someone already struggling with the mental fog of depression, this is overwhelming. The brain's natural problem-solving circuits get overloaded, leading to a sense of helplessness. You're more likely to feel a desperate need to comply with the expert on the phone rather than challenge them. Finally, depression leads to reduced memory and attention. When it impacts your memory, it's easier for a scammer to create a convincing yet completely false narrative. You might not remember if you had an outstanding bill or if you've interacted with a particular agency before. The scammer's story fills in those mental blanks, and because your attention span is reduced, you don't notice when their story changes or contradicts itself. Beyond the cognitive, scammers prey on the emotional. Depression often drags self-worth into the mud. Someone struggling might already feel like a failure, a burden, or that they can't do anything right. This low self-esteem creates a powerful emotional vacuum that scammers are eager to fill or exploit. A romance scammer, for instance, tells the victim they're beautiful, special, and loved. They shower them with compliments and attention. For someone starved for affection due to their depression, this feels like a lifeline. That little spark of validation can override the victim's suspicions. A fake job recruiter praises the victim's qualifications, which is music to the ears of someone who doubts themselves and may have lost their job. Or a fake debt collector preys on guilt, making the victim believe they have an outstanding debt, which they feel they deserve as punishment for their perceived failures. When self-esteem is low, external validation, positive or negative, hits much harder. That's exactly what scammers manipulate. This is made worse by the social isolation that is a hallmark of depression. People may cut off friends, avoid family gatherings, or spend long hours alone. This creates the perfect opportunity for scammers. Isolation means fewer reality checks. If you don't have anyone to call, or you're too ashamed to admit what's happening, you're far more likely to go along with the scammer's story. In fact, many victims report keeping scam interactions secret out of shame. That secrecy keeps scammers in control. Let's look at some real anonymized examples to illustrate these concepts. A 55-year-old woman, let's call her Sarah, was in a deep depression after a divorce. Feeling lonely and worthless, she met someone online who showered her with daily calls and texts, calling her his angel and the love of his life. For weeks, the emotional validation was a powerful antidote to her depression. When he suddenly needed emergency money for a fabricated medical crisis for his daughter, Sarah, desperate to preserve this beautiful connection, sent thousands of dollars without a moment's hesitation. Her depression, which had begun to lift with his attention, plunged her into an even darker place, filled with shame and self-recrimination. And then, there is John, a 28-year-old struggling with major depression, was overwhelmed by daily life. He was falling behind on work and his home was a mess. One day, a pop-up on his computer warned of a serious virus. A number appeared, claiming to be from Microsoft Security. Feeling an intense urgency to fix a problem he couldn't even comprehend, John followed their instructions, allowing them remote access. In a matter of hours, they had emptied his bank accounts. The experience left him feeling even more helpless and defeated, a feeling that intensified his depression to the point where he couldn't leave his bed for weeks. These stories don't reflect stupidity, they reveal vulnerability, and depression makes that vulnerability much easier to exploit. So, how do we handle this? It's not a fight you take on alone. The answer isn't simply being smarter or more aware. It's creating a shield of protection for yourself and the people you love. The most important tool you have is the pause button. No matter how urgent the call sounds, no matter how dire the threat, hang up and pause. Take a minute to breathe. A legitimate organization, whether it's the IRS, a bank, or a police department, will never demand immediate action or payment over the phone. They can send you a letter, they can give you a case number, they can wait. The second line of defense is verification. If you're worried the call might be real, hang up, and then go find the official phone number for the organization yourself. Do a Google search. Look on their official website. Call them back using the number you found, not the one the caller gave you. This simple step can expose almost any scam, and this is a big one. Never, ever give out personal information. Legitimate institutions already have your social security number, your bank account details, your address. They won't ask for it over the phone, especially not if they initiated the call. Be extremely careful of anyone asking you to pay with gift cards, wire transfers, or cryptocurrency. Those are almost always signs of a scam. But the deepest, most powerful protection is connection. If you are struggling with depression, you are not alone. Reach out to a trusted friend, a family member, or a mental health professional. Talk to them about your struggles. Tell them about the calls you've been getting. That connection, that reality check, is the most powerful weapon you have against these emotional predators. And if you know someone who is struggling with depression, a parent, a friend, a neighbor, be an active part of their support network. Check in on them. Ask them how they're doing. Tell them about the latest scams. Don't be condescending. Just be a source of information and support. Tell them it's okay to talk about a suspicious call and offer to help them verify it. This isn't just a video about scams. It's a video on empathy and awareness. It's a call to action. We need to be more vigilant, not just for ourselves, but for the people in our lives who may be fighting a silent battle. By understanding the vulnerabilities that depression creates and by building strong, connected communities, we can close the doors on these predators and help ensure that no one is left alone to face this unseen trap. So, why are depressed people easier targets for phone scams? Because scammers are predators who sense vulnerability. Depression lowers defenses, increases neediness, and clouds judgment, exactly the weaknesses scammers exploit. But here's the hopeful takeaway. Awareness, community, and mental health support can flip the script. The more we talk about this, the harder it becomes for scammers to succeed. If you or someone you know has been scammed, remember, this is not a sign of stupidity, it's a sign of humanity. And with the right tools and support, you can protect yourself, recover, and move forward. With the right tools and support, you can protect yourself, recover, and move forward. At Tileris, our mission is to make that protection stronger by using AI-powered defenses that spot threats before they reach you. If you'd like to learn how this works for your organization, you can reach out to our experts for a personalized consultation or request a demo of our AI agent in action at Tileris.com. Because the best defense against scammers isn't fear, it's awareness, support, and the right technology on your side. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, share it with someone who might need it. And if you'd like more videos like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Stay safe, stay aware, and take care of your mental health. It's one of the best defenses you have.